So today I was thinking and want to talk to you about how you've made it this far in your business. Now it's time to build it the right way. And if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Adam Keeler. I own a home service business here in North Dallas. And my story is the last 5 years, I took my business from zero all the way to $1 million a year in revenue. And the last probably about 2 years, I had hired way too many people because we were growing so fast, and I kind of just threw people at my business and hoped that it would fix everything. I spent a lot more money on marketing, and I almost collapsed my business, and it almost happened twice. And what I had to do is I had to step back and realize that I had built something that was bigger than what I could handle and bigger than what I could control. And every time I tried to give control to people or have them take some responsibilities or help, you know, lift the burden of the business, I guess share the burden, it just didn't seem to go that well. Like, yeah, they would help out, but it just seemed like the more people I hired, the more I had to do. And it was really frustrating to have to deal with that. And it got to the point where I was just completely burnt out and I could not figure what was going on. And so in this video, I want to talk about what I did to go from having a business where everything seemed to be on my shoulders. I was literally carrying my team and my business on my shoulders to the point where I finally got it to the point where the business was on a solid foundation and the team was running my business, and I was not the one under my business. I was not the one holding it up anymore. I could go on vacation and everything would be fine. I just got back from a 3-week vacation in Utah. We went to Bear Lake for a couple weeks and it was fantastic, and my business kept running because of the way that I built it. I built it right. And I think a lot of times what happens is when you especially start a business from the ground up, you are just in this mode where you just push and build this business, and you kind of got your head down, and all you wanted to do is just work and make you money. And then it gets a little bit bigger than you, and then you have to hire people and then train them and then manage them, and then you have to remember they have to pay taxes, and you have systems and SOPs, and what's the process? Now you have customer satisfaction you have to deal with, and it's just super overwhelming how many things there are that you have to deal with as the owner. So in this video, I want to go over what are the steps to get from this business where you have everything on your shoulders to this business over here that it runs on its own. And I've been able to break it down into 3 steps. They're big steps, but 3 main steps. So the first step is analyzing where you're at and then finding what leaks you have. So just imagine a bucket. So this bucket, you're filling it with leads, lots of leads. You're spending more money on marketing, advertising, but it has a lot of holes in it. And these holes are time wasted, money wasted, effort wasted. And so a lot of us, we spend a lot of our time trying to put more water into these buckets. And some of these holes are really big. And when you have these large holes that the water just sprays out of, you're going to have to constantly fill it up with water. And it's going to take way more money, time, and effort than if you would just patch these holes up or patch some of the biggest holes. So the first step is identifying and patching these large holes. So for instance, I went from only spending I think it was about $10,000 to $15,000 a year on marketing, and we had $1 million a year in revenue in our business. And the goal was to double. We're going to grow to $2 million. And since we did so much work with referrals and with people that would find us on our Google account, I realized that I couldn't scale that to $2 million a year in revenue based off of Google organic leads and referrals. And so I decided to spend a lot more money on marketing. And for 2 years, we still hit $1 million a year in revenue, but we spent significantly more on marketing. I think one year, actually, I think both the years, we spent about $50,000 for the year in marketing, and we got the same amount of work. We got more leads, but we did the same amount of work. And so that was me pouring in $50,000, so anywhere between $40,000 and $35,000 extra into this bucket, and it would just leak out. And I had to stop and think and go, okay, what the heck is going on? If we're getting more leads, like what if I spent $100,000 or $200,000 a year on marketing? Would we still only do the same amount of work? And the answer is yes, we would, because the way that my business was set up is we could only handle so many leads that we could communicate with, so many leads that we would be able to sell to, and so many jobs that we could install. And so I thought, when I poured in that $50,000 in marketing, that the whole was, oh, I just need more laborers. That's when I hired way too many people. So I hired too much effort. So we were wasting effort. So I'm wasting money on marketing, and now I'm wasting money on all these extra people that we don't need, because I felt like I needed to train them, hire them, and get them ready for all of this work that was going to come in. And it never came. And so I wasted time, money, and effort with that, when I could have been focusing more on fixing the holes. So hopefully that first step makes sense. So if you can find some of these large holes that you could fix, then it's a game changer, because you're able to get back money, time, and effort that you can spend elsewhere and really build your business the right way. And just a side note, I do have a full video that explains all of this in the description below. There's a link there. I walk through this. I draw everything so you can see a visual. So you can, feel free to check that out. All right. So step number 2 is making sure that your business is built out the right way. And I like to think about a business like a machine. So the way that I draw it out in this video, this other video, is these gears. So each part of your business has these gears, and each of the cogs in this wheel represent one of the steps and people in your business. And so the example that I give and I explain, there are 4 gears, and it just helps me to be able to visualize what a business is supposed to look like. You got the acquiring the leads, that lead acquisition gear, and everything involved in that. Then you've got the sales gear and everything involved in that. And then you have the fulfillment gear, and then you've got the admin and leadership gear. And so what happens is, when you start a business from the ground up, and you're just kind of throwing things at your business and duct taping and building this business, and it's kind of a scrappy business that you put together, we don't tend to just stop and think, okay, did I build everything right? Do I have everybody in the right spot? Do I have all the steps that I need in my business? And we just keep going. And I know I did. And I know it wasn't until I read a book called Scalable by Ryan Diaz, I think it was, where he said, one of the things you need to do is to map out your business. Now I've taken it a step further, not only mapping out your business, but is it mapped out the right way? Because you can find out what it is, but is it right? And so this step number 2 is making sure that you build out your business machine. Make sure that it flows the right way, everybody's in the right spot, and then you're able to see what you've built, and other people in your business are able to see what you've built. And then you'll know that you've built the right thing as well, because you have everything in the right spot. So step number 3 is the last part. So We've fixed some of the holes in our business. We've fixed the business machine and the structure of it. Now we just need to make it so it doesn't rely on us as the owners. And so this is where you get your leadership team, reports, and things like that, so that it could run on its own and that it's built on a foundation that doesn't rely on you. And you're not the one that has to come up with all the answers. You're not the one that has to make sure that you're there all the time to make sure that it runs properly. And after step 3, you're able to step out of your business. So once you step out of your business and look at what you just fixed and created, you're able to see that you're so much closer to being able to have that business that stands on its own. Now, this will be something that you refine over time to be better and better, but you're able to step out. Maybe you can go on vacation for a week or 2 weeks, or what I did was 3 weeks, and your business will be fine. And if I tried to do this before I implemented all this, I wouldn't be able to go for as long as I did and have everything run smoothly and not skip a beat. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you. My goal is to give you everything that I know here on this channel for free. And if you want more personalized and customized help to implement this kind of stuff, then you can find more of that information in the description below. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.